Hey everyone, in this episode, we're taking a look at the movie Captive State. We're going to be exploring this interesting concept and to see if it's a surprise hit. This is episode 127 of the Reel-ists podcast. Hey everyone, I'm Oscar.
And I'm Donnie.
And we have our producer Ruben here as well. Hello, he's back. He didn't say hello in the last episode, I don't think so.
How rude.
So rude. He was just like, there's a guest star, I don't need to say my part. But yes, welcome everyone. Hopefully you enjoy this episode. This will be a spoiler review for Captive State. But before we start our review, we just want to give you just a courtesy reminder here to please review us on iTunes if you use iTunes or Apple Music to listen to us. And if not, you can always just follow us on social media and give us comments there. We're just looking for some constructive feedbacks to help us as a podcast grow and become better. So we don't want to be boring and dull and think we're funny, but just
Oh, he went there. Okay.
just saying we don't want that. We want everyone to enjoy it. So yeah, if you do get a chance, definitely leave that comment and review. But I think we're ready to go right into this spoiler discussion. So, Donnie, start us off with your quick thoughts.
Captive State. I liked it. Back to you. No, it's funny because this movie didn't get marketed really. It kind of in the same sense of like when we saw Upgrade, we kind of were like, what is that? We weren't sure what it was like. We hadn't heard about it, this kind of thing. So, I didn't have any real expectations because I didn't even know about the movie probably until maybe 2 weeks before we saw it, a week before we saw it, some around there. It was we saw it, I think, for Greta. I think the trailer played for Greta, and we were just like, what? That's like right around the corner. Yeah. But I really did like it. I thought it was a really fun, cool sci-fi flick. And people kind of compare it to Cloverfield or, there's another
for the alien invasion.
The alien invasion part of it, but I really was into it, and I liked that. I mean, it kind of centers on, there's a lot that we don't know still about the movie. So I don't know if
or still about the
I mean, sorry, not the movie,
story.
About the story, the aliens, how they invaded,
why they invaded.
We didn't get all. We were thrown right into kind of.
Why didn't our military defense
why weren't we able to fend them off? None of that. We were just like, this is where we're at now. They're invaded. They are in charge. They're the legislator is what they're called. And they're ruling this planet. So it's and sometimes I like a film that just throws you right into it. Kind of even thinking of A Quiet Place, how you're just, there's so much we don't know about A Quiet Place still, but sometimes that's fine. So I liked it. I liked being thrown right in the middle of it and just kind of having to just pay attention and realize what's going on here and kind of the horse we're riding. I don't know. The horse we're riding. Just making stuff up.
All right.
But yeah, but I liked it. I really did enjoy the film, and John Goodman was in it, who he's awesome. The actor's name I'm blanking on right now, but he was in Moonlight. He did phenomenal, and the whole supporting cast. I felt like all the characters are good characters. I felt like it was just a well-rounded film.
Okay, well, for those that are unaware of this, that's okay. You're not alone. I'm sure we were almost in that same boat. But set in Chicago neighborhood nearly a decade after an occupation by an extraterrestrial force, Captive State explores the lives on both sides of the conflicts: the collaborators and the dissents. Not dissents.
Descendants?
No, it's like descendants.
Oh, let me see.
Last word.
Oh, dissidents. Is it like residents but dissidents?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a
new word. Word of the day.
Right. Go use everyone in a sentence. It's the opposite of collaborator. Right. Dissidents. But anyways, so yes, this movie was directed by Rupert Riot and starred John Goodman. I was gonna say, I don't know why I was gonna mess up his name. There. I don't know who you're referring to. That was in
the guy who played
The kid?
The younger brother.
Ashton Sanders?
Yes, him.
Okay.
Ashton Sanders. He was in
yes. And Vera Farmiga makes an appearance as well.
Yep.
And then also Jonathan Majors. All right. But yes, that's the kind of the cast, not all of them, but most of the main ones. So for me, Captive State, I just felt like, and I said this for I forgot what movie it was, but I said this, and it was just like, I felt like I missed episodes, and like I just tuned in the middle of the season, and I'm supposed to just kind of follow along, but there's unfortunately nothing for me to go back in and kind of catch up on. So the idea of the alien invasion was very good, and I like that it wasn't a typical we're fighting back and that's what the main movie is about. They kind of did the time jump of this is what the life we have now. This is what, sets the sci-fi, up in terms of this is what the story is really about. It's not about the invasion, it's about post. So I like that concept. I thought that was a really great concept, but to me, I wasn't enjoying how they were pacing this movie and how they were getting to the plot points, because again, I feel like at the end of the movie, yes, they try to do a plot twist and they try to, reveal like, it is going according to plan to the people we're supposed to support. But it just felt like, again, this was episode 6 of the 13 episode season, that we really weren't like fully satisfied. I wasn't fully satisfied. I wasn't like, I got everything I needed here. And I understand, you do want to leave the door open for sequels or potential spinoffs or whatever you want to. That I totally get. But you still need to give me a conclusion to this story just so I can know this complete arc of what was being told to me. And I feel like that's what the tough part is for a lot of movies, is that they want to think, let me just set this up for the next sequel, but you always got to work on the movie you're on, because that's what's going to determine if there's a sequel or not. And I don't think there's going to be a sequel in this one. It's more set up as like a independent type of film. But I did enjoy the concept. I just felt the execution was just not there. And yeah, we have a lot of questions. And I know that's not to say the movie had to answer every question I have. Not every movie does that. But I still felt like they needed to establish these two opposites, the collaborators and the dissidents.
I will say, we said this when we were walking out of the theater, but I think this would have been a better story told as a limited series, or if it was a show. Well, I think it would have given them
the show that I think was very similar to what was going on was Falling Skies. I don't know if you remember that show.
I remember.
Yeah, that one had that same premise, that it was not, yes, it was an alien invasion and they were fighting back, but it was this prolonged change that everyone had to deal with and had to adjust. And there was people that were like, yes, let's be with the aliens, and there were people are like, no, they're the enemies. Mm-hmm. So very similar on that, and I feel like, yes, in that regards, and I know it would have been almost like a copy of that show, but I feel like it probably would have been best as well for that. Yeah,
we would have gotten a lot more. And I mean, because I do think this is one of those films where you do need to pay attention.
Yeah.
Or you'll miss some things because of the pacing and all the information they're trying to give to you. And then I also wanted to say,
felt like you got a cut
No, I was just trying to. I had a couple thoughts. See, this is when I need to. This is why I should have like a little notepad right here, just so I can jot it. Because when you say things, they trigger responses that I want to get out. But I'm trying to let you finish your thought, your spiel. So you can move on, and if I remember it, I'll bring it back into the conversation.
Okay, sounds good. So I do want to just kind of check in with you on. I know you didn't really get the marketing, so you kind of went in a little bit with the unknown, but would that made a difference had you known what this movie would have been from more trailers, more marketing? Would that have made the difference? Because I feel like we gave it a little bit of benefit of the doubt, and we joke about it, but we are truly trying to see what's going to be the next upgrade in terms of what's going to surprise us, and without the marketing and promotion. And there's been a few movies where we thought it was it. To me, I don't think this is the upgrade of 2019. But do you feel like if we did have the opportunity to know how this movie was going to be, maybe we would have made that decision of like, no, maybe I can pay attention to this because that's what the focus is going to be. That's what the trailers told me. Because we got one trailer, and even the trailer, I can't even tell you what was shown. It was kind of all I know. The only thing that was shown was, and it was in the beginning of the movie, so I was like, dang, that was all I had. Was that one scene with the car, and then the aliens far out in the in the tunnel, and then the alien attacks. That was all I remember from the trailer. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I agree. This was not the upgrade of 2019, and I kind of hoping it was gonna be. Not to say I didn't like it, but it just wasn't as good. And I think the reason why we responded so well to Upgrade was because it was such a pleasant surprise, and it was, I think just as audience members, before you go see a movie, you normally for the most part see the trailer a lot, several times,
right,
and you draw up conclusions, and you have all these expectations about what the film will be and what it should be and what you hope to see. So it's like if it veers slightly from any of those things, then you're quote unquote disappointed by the movie. So I don't know necessarily that seeing more marketing for it or anything would have helped.
Because the poster, I don't know if you remember the poster, but the poster kind of, again, it's just that's not what we're getting. It just was...
from the poster, all I get is it looks rebellious in some sort, and I think...
And which is a part of the plot.
I think, a part of the film. I think a big focus of the film was just about, really just fighting back and not.
As you're looking at the poster, I wish this was a YouTube video so people would see it.
Yeah.
It says 10 years ago they took our planet. Today we take it back.
Yeah.
And you just have one of the characters with a red smoke all around him in a little alley.
What it seems like is, and I think that even that is slightly misleading, because just based off that, Ruben, because you didn't see the movie, so let us know, based off that movie poster and the tagline that's on it, this is the day we take it back, wouldn't you assume that in some point in the film there's going to be this epic battle, this huge standoff between the aliens and the people?
Yeah, it seems like they're preparing for...
Right, yeah.
So we didn't really necessarily get that.
We didn't get
the
it
film.
anymore.
I like how they went about trying to take down the legislature.
Right. It had a good. Yeah,
it was
good
kind
moments.
of like they were. It was kind of like it was this. I don't know what you would call it. I don't want to call it a terrorist group because they weren't. But it kind of had those kind of ingredients, they were They were ready. They were it was.
They were willing to
die for this. And they had these cells all over the world, and they were all communicating through newspaper clippings, and it's it was part of this group that was they were trying to take down the aliens that invaded, and and I would assume that there was some pretty common rules, no, don't let them take you alive, meaning if you need to kill yourself before they capture you, do it,
right?
And just it's whatever it takes pretty much for this cause. So it kind of seemed like they were our anti-terrorist group or a terrorist group, I don't know,
in the sense of they were trying to destroy the new standard, I guess, because in the movie this seems like it became the new life. It was 75-80% of the people accepted this new life, that we have someone not controlling us, but someone determining how we live our lives.
Yeah.
Them being the aliens, and the government was yeah, we support what they're doing, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of okay, that's our new lives.
It's kind of they're oppressing the human race, and then they're saying, and it's most people are it's they're oppressing them, but they're giving them the bare minimum of freedom and things like that, and to live their lives, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But they're still under their rule.
Right.
So it's
So, but and so that's the kind of thing with it. So that's why what you're saying is not terrorists. I mean, they would be heroes in this kind of sense of fighting the aliens,
mm-hmm. And I really liked.
It didn't get political. Not to say it gets political in this movie, but
yeah. Well, in even that group, how they were trying to exit, because what they were trying to do essentially is sneak in this. What was it? A bomb or
they were trying to get in and destroy one of the main of the aliens is
headquarters or something, if you will. But was it what was it that there was. It was like this,
I mean, that's one of the questions we have. Like, that's just,
yeah, right. So I don't know if it was like a bomb thing or something, but it was gonna like destroy the alien. So they were, but it was a very meticulous plan that they had. And they, you know, it was like a chess, like you had to hit your mark, and you had to, you know, like I really liked the way they went about. Like I guess that was a specific scene, like an extended scene of like, because it was like 4 of them, and you know. And the way that they had to, by this point, everything was like they can just scan you. Everybody had like a chip, like a bug in their neck, so it's like they can scan you and know where you're at and know who you are. Like the drones flying everywhere, so it's really hard to like be off the grid. So the way that they had to take themselves off the grid, and it's like, oh, you know, we've put the bugs that were in you, we put them in, you know, these other bodies, but they only last until 7 a.m. the next morning. So you have to we have to carry out this plan in a timely manner, and it had to be perfectly executed for it to work.
Yeah.
I've really, you know, not to jump to like favorite scenes, but I thought that how it all played out was really, really, really well done.
I mean, that was essentially the second act. The first
yeah,
act,
and it was pretty much a full act.
The first act did a lot of setup of like John Goodwin. I can't even say the name anymore. John Goodman's character and how he's with the government and how he's really trying to capture these, you know, people are trying to mess this all up.
Vigilantes.
Exactly. And then you have the group that's like, we're doing this for a cause that we believe in, and we've gotten support, and people are aware that we're trying to do this, but it's more of like a quiet support. Like no one was out like intentionally being like, oh, you can do it.
Yeah. Well, probably because they'd probably kill you. Or
right.
do
Exactly.
something if
You're
you
right.
did.
So it was that first act was really just trying to establish that and allowing it to breathe. Like it allowed it to breathe a lot, because it was going at its own pace, where you would see the character return back to like his home base, and you would see John Goodman interact with this particular woman who was Vera Farmiga. So you would get like a lot of these scenes in that first act, and you're just kind of like, well, where is this going to intensify? Mm-hmm. And that isn't until the second act when that plan goes into motion. So, but then it works. The plot twist here, I guess we could just say it. The plot twist is John Goodman's character was a part of this group, and
he was like pretty much infiltrating the
right.
police, government, and
so he had to do
trying
his
to make
part.
it seem like he was for, you know, keeping order within under the legislature, but he really was for the cause of trying to destroy it, which we got at the very end, which was nice.
that was the intention, and the movie concludes.
And I'm going off the assumption here that where he was going on a suicide mission, because he had the bomb. I'm just gonna call it a bomb because I don't know what it was, but it was like invisible, and you can like adhere it to your body and they won't see it, and it's undetectable because it's not carbon based. He had it, and he was descending down to where the aliens lived. So I'm assuming that was like a suicide mission, like he knew,
which we don't know.
But.
So that's how it concludes. So that's why we say like it leaves in the sense of like tune in next week or tune in next season.
Mm-hmm. That's how the movie ends.
That's how the movie ends. Yeah. So, I mean, there was just like, it was building itself at its own pace, and it was, you know, taking its time. But I felt like that was one of the downsides to it, was in this situation that, you know, you're not a movie that has this blockbuster status, and you're not a movie that has a secured like sequel, or, you know, it's not based on a novel where you're going to have a certain amount of fan base to come in and watch it. Mm-hmm. That was the thing, is you had to make this movie be an entertaining movie from start to finish, not just second half towards the conclusion. Kind of as soon as the plan finishes, it kind of slows down again, kind of like wraps up, but doesn't wrap up in a way that you're just like, what's next? It's just more of like, okay, we're still going. All right, you know, it's going to breathe. But yeah, so it was very interesting. I will say the one thing that I did like about it was that I also felt like I could see realistically how this would play out in real life, and I can see that. I mean, I'm not to say I want an alien invasion, but if we were to get an alien invasion, I can see this kind of lifestyle. Like, it didn't seem too far off, and like, oh, that's never gonna happen in some of the alien invasions that you do see, like Battle Los Angeles. That one was just like, oh, we can't even stop them. Like, it just didn't feel like that. But this one was more of like, I can see it where these aliens are not necessarily out shooting each person. They're more of like, in the typical, we're here to conquer your land. You're giving us, what we want. You're listening to our demands and meeting it. And the government, knowing that they can't stop it, I'm assuming, goes with that. So I could see that like actually playing out in that same way, where we're now controlled by someone else. So, because I felt like that would be like the next kind of conquering,
I even got reminded of Sorry to Bother You slightly.
I could see that, yeah.
With the whole like them going to work for that company that's gonna like provide housing and food, and it sounds wonderful, but really it's like you're hiring slaves,
Yeah.
I kind of felt like that slightly.
That's what I did appreciate. I was like, I could see this realistically playing out if this is the like war to happen in real life. So I'll give it real points.
Yeah,
we're adding points to ours.
Real points.
Real points. But yeah, no, it's just one of those movies that you go in, and I mean, I'm assuming you go in with the expectation that you're gonna get some kind of thrill, and you walk away with getting a sample of thrill. And the rest of it, world building / like, what's the other word that TV shows do? Filler. There was a little bit of filler. And so it's kind of like, it's not what I would want this movie to do for me. I don't know. I just felt like that's where it missed its mark, and being able to really set itself. Because like the intro opens up with someone trying to run away from all this. And at the very end, they encounter the alien, and the alien just kills them, I'm assuming. Well, kills the parents. But that was exciting to, like, have that alien and, feel that threat. And this was, like, when it started to happen.
When it first kind of started.
Yeah, when the alien first started. And I liked that. I liked that thrill. I liked the thrill of they were executing their plan, whether it was going to work or not. I liked that thrill. But, like, the rest of the film was just more of, let's just watch these characters trying to start their plan, trying to live their lives, do these little things that were relevant to their life, but not relevant to the movie's overall plot. So that's kind of where I'm just like, it just wasn't.
And then it was also just a lot of like, I feel like in terms of pace, it was very shifting gears. Like,
yeah,
started off really strong, then it's, like with the opening, and then it got really slow. Yeah. And then it started intensifying, and then it slowed down again. And it's like, it's like pick a pace, and like, I know the whole film can't be like pulsating like intensity.
Yeah.
Or super, super slow. But I mean, it's a sci-fi action film, so like I'd say
give us
more, in this case with this genre of film, like it's better to be too much going on than to like not enough going on, right? And we're like checking our phone.
Because then you start to show you are a low budget sci-fi movie, and that's what you don't really see the aliens. You see them in about 3-4 maybe scenes. One of them was in the dark, so that was intentional.
Oh my god, it was like so intentional. I was like, I mean, we were in a dark theater and we couldn't see that, we couldn't make things out. So imagine you just watching that at home, like in the living room, and then you'd really be like, what the like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
So that was bad.
So
they could have did something different with that scene.
But
that's unforgivable.
Reshoot.
Yeah.
So I mean, you said your favorite scene, and I kind of agree with that. I think that overall was a very satisfying thing, because at this point you're just like, this is it, this is what the whole movie's set up for, slowly, but it set it up for this. And it kind of, I liked it. I liked how it went, and then you thought they were off the hook. Turns out nope, they were captured, and all of them died but one. And so I really liked that entire sequence. I thought that was good. I thought the opening was very strong opening to really show like the aliens having that like strong force of like, they're not just something you shoot down. Interesting design. They were all like it was like
spiky.
Spikes. Yeah. So
metallic, spiky, kind of.
No face.
Yeah, no real like.
But it was
form.
kind of like, it was that like kind of like hair. It was like this aliens version of hair, because they removed like one of the scenes when they killed one of them. I'm assuming they ripped some of that Spike
something
stuff
off, because then we saw this kind of
like
fleshy, meaty,
brain looking
gelatinous, slimy
face. I'm assuming. So.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, but
we're like, okay, why not?
So
we'll go with it.
Generally, those are kind of where the two kind of good strong ones were, and then just the ending just gives you that openness, and you're just like, is there a post-credit scene that we should stay for? Is there, anything that I can look forward to? Is there a book that I can go get my questions? But it is what it is. So with all that being said, Donnie, what score do you give this movie?
I really did enjoy it. But I mean, I think I would have, for the film itself, I'll give it a 3. Just because I think, like what we said, a lot of the pacing was like kind of all over the place. Some of this, we didn't see enough of the aliens, and it was a little misleading. We're thinking we're gonna get this, epic final standoff or shootout or whatever, and we didn't really get that. And I think because of the low budget is why we didn't see so much. Probably one of the reasons why we didn't get that, but also why we didn't see so much of the aliens on screen, and why, some of those scenes, the blacked out scenes, it just made it a little, you could tell it was just because of the budget was the issue. So it's like, that sucks. But I mean, I really liked the characters, and I liked the story, and I think it's one of those films that had a great framework. Like, it could have really taken off had it just been maybe in different hands. Not saying like the director himself, I'm just saying like, maybe if a different studio.
Right, if someone else, if like more people were pitched this idea and they would be like, what's your thoughts?
Right, or if maybe they had a bigger budget or whatever, X amount of things could have contributed. But I'd say a 3. I do think it is entertaining and it is fun. And if you like sci-fi, I think you'll like the film. I don't think you'll dislike it.
It depends on the sci-fi you like. If you like sci-fi that gets you like thinking and kind of is different than the common, monster, alien, going crazy kind of because I took a drink and now I'm like superpowers, but I'm losing my mind at the same time. I don't know.
Is this a superhero movie?
But I mean, if it's more of the sci-fi that you're just kind of like sitting back and enjoying the concept, then I think you will enjoy it. Yeah, I agree on that. Mm-hmm. My score is going to be just a little bit below it. It's going to be a 2.5. I just feel like this was more of disappointing than anything. The cast didn't leave a strong mark. Jonathan Goodman.
John Goodman.
Not Maddie.
Jonathan.
Now I'm just changing his name. John Goodman just was what I expected. He didn't add anything new. It wasn't anything that was, to me, fresh. I felt like I've seen things very similar in different roles that he's had. Because he's played this kind of character before where he like is bad. I mean, I don't know if all the characters he was bad in, but
he was like a bad politician in Evan Almighty. I remember, if you remember that movie, he was like a bad guy in that.
Yeah, but so like I've seen some of this, and he didn't add anything new to it, which I was hoping for, and the rest of the cast just kind of they helped the film, but they didn't add to the film, and I felt like this was one of those movies that the cast could have made the difference, because if we really were just like hanging on to these characters, then we probably would have enjoyed the movie a little bit more. The pacing, as we mentioned, was something else that was bothering. Too many questions that were not answered when I felt like they should have answered at least a good handful of common questions. How did the screening go? Actually, I don't think they did a screening for this movie. I think they just
throw it out there.
They released it to a select group of people to see it. I'm assuming they're not media, but they were just some kind of reporters, and then released it in theaters. But that would have been one of those where the screenings and the cute questionnaire.
Yeah,
did you like this survey? What parts did you like? What parts you didn't like? But yeah, so it's one of those that I just overall I was more disappointed. Great concept, could have worked better maybe as a TV show or a limited series, but it just failed to add anything that stands out, and ultimately just leaves too many things open, and understandably, I get the budget, I understand that. So I wouldn't even say that's the fault of it. Of not showing us the aliens. That's fine. Leave that to imagination to some degree. But yeah, I just overall more disappointed than anything else. So 2.5 is going to be my score.
All right, man. All right. I ain't mad at that.
So hopefully everyone that listened to this episode, you watched the movie. Maybe you had some interest. And maybe we just saved you $8, $10, $12, $16.
Depending on the day you go.
Right.
Might have been $5.75 on a discount Tuesday.
Right. So hopefully we just helped out make that decision.
The choice is yours.
The choice. We know there's plenty of new options coming out in these upcoming weeks, so we'll leave that be. But yes, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode, but don't forget to tune in to our other episodes where we will be reviewing more. Doing a little advertisement here. But yes, you can always follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Team Reel-ists. That's Team Reelists. Said that a little too fast.
Slow it down.
One more time. Team Reelists. No dash. But yes, thank you again for tuning in this episode. Until next time.
Thank you.